Hey guys, it's MasterKey, and this is a video about being yourself.
MasterKey!
They always say, what do you have to do? Be yourself or be someone else and behave differently. You should always be yourself. I know everyone says that and everyone is tired of hearing that. But it's true. I know it's hard because what do you do if you are a loser? Well, if you are a loser, then change yourself. Don't pretend like being someone else, but change yourself. Because the rule is that you always have to be the person who you really are. Even when you're bad, even when you're a loser, even when you are unpopular. If you behave differently than you are, then people always notice that. And then you're not relaxed, then you're not at ease because you're acting to be someone else. You should work on yourself and learn from every event in your life. And change your inner self, and then you start to behave differently later on because you are really changed. And if you follow the feelings you have from the new you, you can still behave like you are, like the person you are. You don't play a role, you changed yourself and now you're like that. Look, I used to be a loser and I used to be very uncool, but I behaved like I was cool, but that doesn't work. I really fucking changed myself so much you can't even believe. And now I can still be myself with less pressure because I became cooler. I became someone else. I became a different person, but a different version of myself, a better version. So people prefer to be with me. Hey, I'm not perfect, but I can be more at ease when I'm being the person I am now. I'm more at ease without looking like a fool. I don't have to play that much like I'm someone else because I reformed myself. So I don't behave differently than I am in a conversation, because then after a while you fall through the basket. No, really, that's a Dutch saying and it means that you just get caught. People look through you because you're not that person. People will notice after a while and you will feel not relaxed. And you will feel bad because you will attract the wrong people and then you will feel unhappy. It takes time to change yourself in the long run, I understand. But that's better than not working on yourself at all and behaving differently. So the people would find you enjoyable. But then they find someone nice, someone you're not. I understand it, but it's wrong. I always thought that by changing myself I was someone else. But I wasn't pretending to be someone else. I behave different because I am changed, which makes me different than I was, but still be myself who I am now. Because I am changed who I am now, I don't always have to put up a facade because I changed and then I can just be myself. I've learned one thing. You can find out how people are and what people want, so that you maybe know if someone likes your musical talents or someone thinks you're cooler or if you are nicely dressed. You can do that as long as it is a part of you. I might as well dress myself in a jeans or a loose sweater, but as long as that is a part of myself, I can do that. Because I know girls who love me in loose clothing and who don't want me to be so much uptight, but that is still me. I do not pretend like being someone that isn't me. You cannot fundamentally change yourself and change things about yourself if you're not ready. A long training is needed. You can try to change these things and you can throw your entire life upside down like I did in the past. But only if those things really change with time, your behavior will change just as you are at that moment. Because you have changed. Everyone still with me? So, why am I talking so much about changing, and why do people always behave differently when they are around people? Well, that's because everybody knows that unconsciously everybody attracts their own kind of people. You know, birds of a feather. And that means even if you are beautiful, if you are clever, if you are smart, rich or perfect, if that girl or boy does not belong to you, they'll never want you. It's frustrating sometimes, but it's the same with age, it's the same with race, and even with your language. That sounds normal, of course, languages and such, but in fact, how normal is it? People always attract people of their own kind, and people always feel attracted to people of their own kind. You always see people with tattoos together, or nerds or musicians. If you differ too much from each other, it just won't fit. I always thought that I had to become perfect, and that I certainly would get stupid, fat or ugly girls because I was so much better than them. And I thought they would love to hang out with me because I was so handsome, I was smart, I trained, I'm a musician, I'm an actor, blah blah blah, etc. But that is so not true, because people apparently don't want to be with people who are better. They want to be with normal people, and they don't want people that are more handsome than their own. If the difference is too large, it's impossible, because they will always feel inferior and they will always feel less about themselves. Okay, a little fact. Men are actually happier with a woman who is more sexy than them, and it's also proven that relationships where the woman is the most handsome one are more successful. And it's logical, because the guy is happy because his wife is more sexy than him, and the wife is happy because she's the most handsome one. But of course the man has to be strong, and the man has to be richer than the girl. As I have told you in my cashew vlogs for my Dutch fans, but you should still be able to offer the same value for each other. It can't always come from one side. People are most fitted with others of their own kind. A rock chick won't date a gentleman, a punker won't date a hipster, and a nerd won't hang out with skaters. A lot of people always think, why does that loser has a girlfriend and why don't I have a girlfriend? But that's because you didn't find the right one yet. Do you really want someone who doesn't suit you? Don't you want that perfect one who completely understands you and with whom you can be just yourself? But on the other hand, you can say, I rather prefer someone who does not suit you than to have nobody at all. Because where is Mr. or Mrs. Right? Yes, I understand. It's sometimes very lonely, because for some people their kind is very rare. It's a very difficult issue. But guys, if you want to attract the right people in your lives, then just be yourself. That's why I'm telling you guys all this stuff. If you pretend to be someone else, you find people who want the person you are pretending to be. So be yourself and you'll find the ones that will suit you. But I know that people change themselves and put up a facade because they don't want to show who they really are. But be proud of who you are. You are great and embrace it. And if you're not proud, then change yourself. But people still pretend being someone else, so they would be more popular. I understand it. I've done it too. It's very frustrating, especially in my situation, as very few people can understand the huge loneliness I feel inside. Because everything is about being loved and feeling understood. You often see like ugly and fat people in a relationship, and then you will be like, oh man, I'm bench pressing and I'm doing stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this happening? Well, people need people who understand them. So two stupid people, two ugly people, sorry, no offense, will faster get with each other and get a relationship. But I'm always falling out, especially because of what I experienced in my life. And because I'm fighting so hard for my future, that is very difficult for people to understand and to accept me. And it's hard to find someone who is my kind, someone who is like me, especially because I can't meet people with Tourette syndrome, because unfortunately I take over the tics, I take over the symptoms, and that is very lonely, and it's worse than people could ever imagine. I really need those persons, those people who can really accept me and who can love me for who I am, but I can't see them. Maybe in the future I can see them one day, but at this moment in my life I can't, unfortunately. There are Tourette societies, but I just can't go there. But all that makes it extremely difficult to find someone who understands me and who is my kind of person and who will love me for who I am. But I understand everybody wants someone who is normal and who fits them. But one day we will find someone who is all kind of crazy, and we will call it love. It is also true that I'm a very complex person. And simple souls and stupid people, sorry again, often don't think about things and just start a relationship or hook up more easily, because that's just the way it is, like kids. Everything is easy with kids, even when you have enemies at some age. Kid relationships were so easy. Why did parents ever told us we couldn't be together? Or was that only with me? Anyhow, it was simple, because simple minds discuss simple things. So it's not hard to find a match. Only clever and complex people like me, who have experienced a lot, overanalyze things and are more difficult to match with a partner. It is logical that the simpler you are, the more you seem similar. But the more complex you are, the more types differ from each other. And it's almost impossible to find someone who is compatible with every factor of your personality. So in conclusion, many people are a loser and try to behave cooler, but please don't do that. You have to train yourself. You have to change yourself completely at home, not at the bar. Change yourself and be someone else. Change yourself at home and train that. Become cool and become popular, so you can stay yourself. Okay, I know it's easier said than done, but you can find a lot of stuff on the internet on how to become more confident, successful and popular. It just doesn't happen in a few days. You have to work for it, but it's possible. I did it. And I'm not perfect, but I'm still working on it. I'm becoming better every day. So don't behave like you're someone else. Become someone else, so you can still be yourself, because you are changed. If you change yourself, basically through exercise and or whatever, then your behavior changes automatically. But you can still be yourself. That's the rule. Always be yourself, so you will attract the right people and you do not always feel lonely, even in a crowded room. Did you ever feel lonely? I often felt lonely in a crowded room. And sometimes sitting with friends and you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, because they are sometimes wrong for you. They are the wrong friends. You don't feel accepted, therefore you should always be yourself, and you will automatically attract the right people. Even when it takes a lot of time, that's the right way to do it. And are you happy with who you are? Look at your 5 best friends and how they are. You can find out a pretty good picture of yourself when you look at the friends you hang out with. Maybe if you're unhappy with your friends, you should find new friends. Many will often resist your change, because they cannot stand the thought of their friend changing, or they cannot handle the truth of them staying their same old selves. So they cannot stand the change, because they are not used to the new you. But you have to leave those people behind. Only embrace the people who support you, and only believe a prediction that empowers you. And I know it's difficult, of course, but nobody said it would be easy. But if you're not in the position you want to be, then move. then change yourself. But please don't become an asshole or a jerk. Stay somewhere in your heart the person you were before. Don't lose yourself in the process. Keep thinking, would the child you once were be proud of the person you are today? And never forget what you've been through and where you came from. But try to change yourself, because your behavior will change, so that you can still be yourself and the right things will come to you in the right time. If you change yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. See you next time. Godverdomme. Oh, fucking hell.